We've seen time and time again that one of the theological issues that most distinguishes different Christian groups is the question of sin. What is it? Where does it come from? And who does it affect? For the conversionist, the representative of the Christ transformer of culture type, the answer is distinctly different from the answers given by the other four types. It will explain a lot about the kind of preaching and teaching you hear from pulpits like ours. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. One doesn't have to be a Christian to see that there is such a thing as evil in the world. Every religion has some sort of answer to it. For some, evil exists because whatever God created the world was obviously an evil and capricious God. The goal of life is therefore to escape this world. Some, like the ancient Christian Gnostics, believed that's exactly what Jesus Christ came to do, to liberate us from this evil material world by promising a way to be taken up into a non-material spiritual realm. For others, evil exists in the world because of human willfulness. The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is the story of human beings trying to exercise their own willful choice, disobeying God's clear commands. For others, evil exists in the world at large, but those who are part of the Christian community are exempt from its effects. Sin is out there rather than in here within the walls of the church. For still others, sin is a failure of reason, a failure to live into the best and highest of human cultural norms. But for the conversionist, sin, while part of all human life, is seen as a distortion of God's good creation, but one that has not completely obliterated the original goodness either of the human soul or of the world in general. Like the other median types, the conversionist sees sin as radical and universal. It is radical in that it reaches down and infects everything in human life. It is universal in that no one is free from its effects. One of Calvinism's foundational traditional beliefs, for example, goes by the somewhat misleading term total depravity. Most non-Calvinists, and even many within the Calvinist Reformed tradition, wrongly believe that it means human beings are totally and completely evil, right down to the root. But that's not exactly what the term means. It means that there is no part of human life, no part of our internal makeup that is free from sin's effects. Think of it more like this. While we retain our original goodness, everything about us has been marred, defaced by the insidious presence of sin, but the goodness in us has still not been wiped out. Let me talk about it another way. The 4th century North African bishop, St. Augustine of Hippo, who wrote extensively about sin, could say, whatever is good. What he meant was that whatever has been created by the Creator, even if it is corrupted, remains good. A corrupted good, to be sure, but good nonetheless. In his Confessions, he says that everything that is created by God, and because it exists, it is good, even though it may have been corrupted. For something to be corrupted, the thing must still be a good in a very real sense. So he says, so we must conclude that if things are deprived of all good, they cease to be altogether. And this means that as long as they are good. Therefore, whatever is good. This is a really remarkable insight, and one that drives the conversionist project. If everything in creation is simply evil, why engage in ministry and mission in the world? After all, if the world is totally and completely evil, there's no room for hope. So the notion that the world and everything and everyone in it is part of God's good creation, even if the creation has been marred and distorted by sin, that still implies that there is room for hope. That's why the conversionist stays engaged in the world and does not simply reject or walk away from it. Tomorrow, we'll take a deeper dive into what sin looks like in actual practice. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.